Hi guys, my name's Laura Bean and today I want to share with you 5 essential tips for starting a freelance business. I started freelancing in 2012 and in that time I've learned a lot about running a freelance business. My first round of freelancing was successful, but it burnt me out. So in 2021, I relaunched myself, I rebranded and I started again in my freelance business. And this time round, I've done it so I am less stressed, less overworked, but earning more. Okay, so tip number 1 is to define your niche. So before you get started with freelancing, have a think. What is it that you're really good at? What do you enjoy doing? What services can you offer? Once you figure out what you're best at and what you enjoy doing, you'll be able to decide what you can offer your clients. It can be really easy at the beginning to want to blanket and cover everything. I started off in marketing and I offered any marketing service that the client wanted. The problem with this is I stretched myself really thin, and it also meant that I wasn't working with the type of clients I wanted to work with. When you niche down to a specific service and offering for your clients, firstly, you can really hone in on what it is you're going to deliver. This makes it really clear and a lot easier to get new clients. It's also going to help you really targeting the marketing of your services, and this is essential when you're starting as a freelancer. My second tip is to build a strong portfolio. Now, I know this is a really tricky one when you first start freelancing. It's that chicken and egg. You need the work to build the portfolio, but you don't get the work until you have a portfolio to show what you can do. What you want to do here is build a portfolio based on what you're offering. You can create example work. It doesn't have to be stuff that you have delivered for a client. If you're a designer, for example, you could create some designs that showcase what you're capable of. If you're a writer, the same. Write some blogs for yourself. Write some blogs for your target audience. Use those as your portfolio so you can build up examples of the work you're doing. When you start to get work, make sure you ask your client if you can use it as an example in your portfolio. You don't have to include everything you do. Make sure you showcase your best work and showcase it for the services you are offering. This has got to be the service you offer clients. This will help them understand what you can do and how you can help them. And it's going to greatly shorten that sales journey from getting to know you to buying from you. Okay, number 3 is determine your rates. Pricing is really tricky as a freelancer and a lot of people stumble over this. The first thing to do is some competitor analysis. Look at other people in your industry and find out what they're charging. Obviously, experience plays a part here. So if you're very new, you may not charge as much as someone who is really experienced in the area. At the same time, you may be new to freelancing, but you've been working in the industry for years, employed by perhaps a big brand, so your work is of higher value. You want to factor in things like how long it takes you to complete a project. That doesn't mean you're pricing by the hour. As you journey through freelancing, you'll realise that it's not all about charging for your time, it's about the value of what you're bringing. If you are creating a logo, for example, for a company, that logo is going to go on everything they do. That is going to be their identity. That is huge value. So make sure you're pricing yourself to the value that you deserve. Before you start freelancing, it is really worth getting a bit of a price list in your head. Obviously, this can adjust and change as you begin working, but you'll feel more confident doing your first quote if you've set some prices on your products and services. It's almost a bit psychological for yourself. If you know you've priced a landing page, for example, at £800, when someone comes to ask you that, that is the price, so you'll just tell them it's £800. If each time you're quoting for work, you haven't got a baseline of what your prices are, you'll probably struggle and you might end up undervaluing and underquoting. So take some time to define the basic pricing for your services. Okay, number 4 is to network and get yourself out there. This can be very, very scary when you start freelancing. And depending on the type of person you are, it will depend how naturally this comes. Some people are really confident and happy to go to an in-person networking event and talk to whoever's there. Other people shy away from that, and it can take them a lot to get in front of someone. You want to find what's comfortable for you. There's lots of options, especially these days, for online networking, in-person networking, and other ways of getting out there to meet your target audience. For me, the key place to start for any new freelancer is with people you know already. Reach out to old colleagues, reach out to friends, reach out to family. Even if they're not your target audience, they may know people that might benefit from your services. So your network is who you know, but who do they know? When you start sharing your services on social media, ask your friends and family to share this out to their networks. You'll soon reach a lot more people and people that you don't know. This is a great way to attract new business because not only are you promoting yourself, you're getting people to promote you as well. And we always buy through trust. So if they know the person recommending you, they're more likely to be interested in your services. So as hard as it can be, just start having those conversations, start talking to the people you know, and as your confidence builds, start getting out there into the less comfortable situations like networking events. But start small and build up. Okay, my final tip for today is to know your numbers. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a freelance business. It can take time to build an income that matches what you earned before you went freelance. That's not to say that you won't get there, and hopefully you'll way surpass that. But you need to be a bit patient here. It takes a while to build up a reputation. It takes a while to build that portfolio and get known in the industry. Work out the basic minimal income you need to cover your bills each month, to be able to feed yourself and live reasonably comfortably. This is your baseline. So to start with, just reach for this. Don't put huge amounts of pressure on yourself just because an Instagram advert has told you could be earning 5 figures a month within 3 months. This really isn't realistic. Freelancing is a long game and you can be very successful in it. And there's every chance you'll earn more than you did when you were employed. As you build, you want to set yourself bigger financial goals. But when you're starting out, make sure you're earning enough to live comfortably without pressurizing yourself to start earning your millions. Believe me, it will really help if you're not putting the pressure on yourself to earn huge amounts straight away. Get comfortable, get set up, earn enough to keep yourself going comfortably, and then start earning for the big bucks. And there you have it, my 5 essential tips for starting a freelance business. If you're passionate about what you do and you're willing to put in the work, freelancing can be a lucrative and rewarding career. If you found this helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'll be sharing more freelance tips like this in the near future. Thanks for watching, and here's to your freelance career.